A big inspiration for me as a kid was always taking a look at the newsstands at all the cool Famous Monsters magazines. There was always these, rad vampires or other monsters on them. And of course, there was one particular character that really grabbed me for pretty obvious reasons, and that was Vampirella. And that's sort of stuck with me ever since then.
Vampirella is a piece that I think all of the old school heads at Sideshow here were really excited about getting a chance to take a crack at.
Vampirella is a classic horror pinup character. We've been wanting to do product based on her for years and years and years, and finally we're getting a chance to do it.
So we've taken on the Vampirella license to explore it in a similar way that the art throughout the last 25, 30 years has, in sort of constantly interpreting her.
I think we finally found something that sort of really balances the Vampirella camp with the dark sexiness and the horror aspect of it.
She's one of the ultimate sexy icons, and if it weren't for Vampirella, Slave Leia wouldn't exist probably. She was the one that really made it acceptable, I think, in the collector's eye or, the fan's eyes, to have something that scantily clad without it being too over the top.
Everything we're going to do is going to be a complete sort of original twist or take on the character itself. So we're going to explore it through the Comiquette line as well as do it with the premium format to get the multimedia angle on it as well. Sometimes there's properties that just jump out at us because they're just fun, and one of those is the Venture Brothers.
We're all huge fans of Venture Brothers. It really kind of represents everything I loved as a kid in cartoons with, everything from G.I. Joe, Johnny Quest, Scooby-Doo.
Kind of takes it years into the future with this sort of boy adventurer. These adventures they go on just are ludicrous and fun and nostalgic at the same time.
It's kind of taking a step out of our normal path where, we usually do Marvel kind of stuff, superhero stuff or realistic stuff. It's kind of like more of a cartoony content.
Go Team Venture!
This was a really great little piece of project fodder for us to kind of wrap Comiquette line around, largely because we can draw a lot from the sort of over-the-top presentations of the characters in the form of the actual collectibles themselves as well. So one of the ones that we're starting with is Brock Sampson, who's, head and shoulders, literally, the favorite of the design team.
Brock Sampson is pretty much one of the most ridiculous characters. The whole show is ridiculous, but he's like the ultimate guy.
And the fact that he's kind of a, part Racer X mentor, part, Jason, slasher movie killer, just creates some great dichotomy in the sense that he's also the boy's babysitter.
He's definitely machismo. He is utterly awesome and impossible to kill. He never uses guns. He kills things with his bare hands or knives. He gets any woman he wants.
We're doing kind of a neat Molotov cocktease companion to him too. This sort of Russian agent sexual foil in the whole show. And from there we're gonna kind of explore the rest of the pantheon of characters.
Clash of Titans represents, all kinds of great Greek mythology and icons. You have Medusa, you have Pegasus, you've got the Kraken, you have a hero that's defying the gods. I mean, that's all classic Greek mythology, and that's something that we've always kind of wanted to do.
We're having a lot of fun on the Perseus premium format figure, and in fact, I think too much fun, because the development guys have been throwing in switch-out parts left and right.
The whole theme of the movie is Perseus defying the gods, and I think we've chosen a pose that is pretty reflective of that.
This thing's gonna have a couple of heads, possibly, definitely a few different arms holding different things. The sack, Medusa's head.
We did one version where he's much more aggressive. I think that's the one that really kind of portrays his defiance. He's actually like screaming, it's a screaming face.
Kind of how the movie rolls. It's just got so many fun things throughout that you gotta be entertained.
And on this day, the man, the legend, Kratos, will have his revenge.
You finally got to see the Kratos from God of War 3 on display. We're really excited to finally be able to show this to you. I love the piece, I'm excited, I love the character, love the game, but this is a great bridge into other video game properties that we're gonna be doing.
We're expanding on our video game licensing with EA, and we're very excited because they represent some of the most interesting games in development today or recent releases too.
We're starting off sometime in the next year with Dead Space. The main character in that is Isaac Clarke, and the piece is great. It's just he's like kind of like paranoid, looking around, looking to cut up more necromorphs.
So we're excited. Even American McGee's Atlas is coming back in a bigger, different way, and everything we've seen on that looks just like a lot of fun.
Then we're going to be moving on to a piece from Mass Effect 2. And then from there we have so many different options with EA. There's just Dante's Inferno, there's Alice 2, there's Dead Space 2, and many more. We're really excited. It represents a great opportunity and a lot of different characters for us to do product for.